Latina, look at what I did to Sungrand Studios. Do you really want that for yourself? I will fucking go. I will steamroll over your fucking channel. Oh boy, Latina, I'm about to destroy your fucking channel.
The first thing I can tell you, salt. That's all I can taste is salt.
Yeah, you guys heard that right. He is going to destroy and steamroll my channel over me calling him out, which to me personally probably wasn't the smartest thing you could say, considering you have nearly 80k subs saying that towards someone with a measly 5k sub count. But you know, that's just me, okay?
Real talk. Real talk.
So you're probably wondering to yourself and thinking, what could the Mexican Hasan possibly have on Latina Parfait to end her career? Well, let me explain. Get this. He went to my Steam profile like the obsessed ex he is, which I claimed in my last video, by the way, found my Fallout 76 review from like 5 years ago on my account, and that's somehow the big gotcha moment that I'm a shill and hypocrite when I didn't even praise the game to begin with. I just said, honestly, Fallout 76 isn't as bad as people make it out to be. The hit detection may be crap, there may be a lot of bugs, but it's not horrible. Wait for a sale though, it's not worth $40 unless you don't already have the masterpieces, which are included for a limited time, being Fallout 1 and 2, which yeah, in a collection it's not a terrible deal. 4 games for $10 each. But this is supposed to be a own, since I called Fallout 76 dog shit in my previous video, you guys, so that makes me a shill hypocrite grifter. Wow, my YouTube career is over, you guys, from a review from 5 years ago on Steam, which most of them aren't even meant to be taken seriously, not to mention, again, it's one from 5 fucking years ago that I don't even remember making, but you know, that's regardless. It's been a good run, Latina sisters, but the Mexican Hasan has ended me. Then on top of all of this, he's trying to throw around EDP 445 cupcake allegations because, get this, okay? Get this, alright? My profile picture being Courtney from Total Drama Island is like underage, I guess.
If you're gonna cosplay as an anime girl, at least choose one that looks 18.
Oh. Chad, I got something to show you that's kind of creepy about Latina Parfait.
You really are stupid, ain't you?
And also my AI generated avatar images of her are also, you know, quote unquote lolly, which it's like, you know, that's one hell of a fucking stretch, but okay. And also the damning evidence of my thumbnail of Expedition 33, where I put in my title and thumbnail, Leclerc Obscure Expedition 33 has a woman you can goon to? That's illegal.
Leclerc Obscure Expedition 33 has a woman you can goon to? Has a fucking 16-year-old on the thumbnail. Like, why would you do that? Like, why would you? Oof. 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 You're lucky, Latina, that I think you're like fucking 15 or 16. You know, I don't know your age, but I don't think you want to encourage people to goon to a 16-year-old in this game. You better change that thumbnail before I put that in the video. I'm letting you know ahead of time how I'm about to destroy you. I'm just saying, in the same, like, I would not put goon and then put the picture of that chick there. It just looks bad. I mean, we don't know anything about this guy, so it's kind of creepy.
Which I have the thumbnail of AI Courtney and Mael from Expedition 33, which I hate to break it to you, buddy old pal. That's clearly a joke, not to mention, why are you assuming I'm talking about Mael? Why are you making assumptions when all your arguments against me is that I'm making assumptions?
So you're arriving to your assumption. You're assuming. You're putting words in their mouth. Your whole assumption that...
Is it possible? Could it possibly be? Is it possible the Mexican Hasan is trying to project his own degeneracy onto me? Because it seems like he's coming to his own conclusions. Possibly, I don't know though. You can come to those conclusions for yourself. But nice try at threatening me to take down the thumbnail.
You better change that thumbnail before I put that in the video. I'm letting you know ahead of time how I'm about to destroy you.
So I can't help that you're stupid and you don't understand intelligent like conversation and intelligent commentary on something and criticism. So sorry that you're stupid.
Again, I, your Latina queen, am always playing 4D chess and see 20 steps ahead with my crystal ball in front of me. I know exactly why you wanted me to delete that, because if I do so, it'll admit guilt and that I'm in the wrong. But unlike you, my brain isn't completely fried from drugs, because I actually am of sound mind and don't need to cope with life with narcs all day.
Real talk.
But again, nice try. But anyways, about a week ago, Fritanga did a live stream reacting to my video that was only 20 minutes long with a 3.5 hour long cope session where all he did was insult me.
Fucking gay ass voice. His avatar is punchable. He was just so dumb. Like, I just cannot believe somebody would actually have the balls to come and talk to me, and that is what they have to say.
And lie through his disgusting teeth. I also joined on his call or whatever since he was literally begging me to be on. I was chatting with him for about 20 or 30 minutes, and his major arguments were that I used modded Oblivion footage to compare that to the new release, which is quote-unquote disingenuous, which yeah, I kinda agree, I fucked up and admitted to that. However, a modded 2006 game probably shouldn't be looking better than the brand new shiny Unreal Engine game from 2025. Just saying. His other arguments were that I was too young to play Oblivion back in the day because, get this, my voice.
Kid, you don't sound, look, I'm gonna be real. Not only do you not sound old enough to smoke and understand, you don't even sound old enough to have played Oblivion when it came out, motherfucker. You don't even sound old enough to have played it. He's not old enough to get a driver's license, I bet. He didn't want to disclose his age. I wasn't gonna force him to. But it's clear he's too young and doesn't know much about the world or life yet.
You know,
Bitch, you were not old enough to play any of these games. You were a fetus when this shit was out. I mean, maybe not even a fetus. Okay?
yeah, I was too young to play Oblivion because of my voice. Wow, great argument, bro. Where's the documented proof of that?
Okay, why did they remove?
Written?
Why did they remove female armor?
And then his other ones, which are some of my personal favorites, like, how do you know the game is woke, dude?
They added body types just to appease woke people. Like, I don't know, like, what else? It's not that, there's not much else.
How do you know?
And when I explained how it was woke, he'd respond with, and I don't know, dude.
Why didn't they just reuse the same asset? Or why did they remove female armors then? Why did they remove female armors?
Why did they remove female armors? I don't know.
So I can't help that you're stupid.
And do you have proof of the developer saying this, dude? Why are you like putting words into the developer's mouth?
Fucking
They
say it.
don't have to say it, so you can just put words in their mouth? You're arriving to your assumption. You're assuming. You're putting words in their mouth.
You're a fucking idiot.
Then immediately afterwards, he copes to himself after I leave the call on how he quote-unquote won the debate. Definitely no insecurity detected there, buddy.
Yeah, no. Oh, no, I dismantled that guy. That guy was fucking dumb. I don't want to bring people on that dumb ever again, but...
Why am I poisoned? Why am I toxic? What?
It's been a while since I brought someone on my channel and absolutely, like, destroyed them. That was great, though.
I keep laughing at how stupid you are.
Then on top of that, he insults me and says I'm not normal and calls me all sorts of other names on top of saying, dude, I can't believe he would try to defend himself and what he believes in.
Jesus Christ, I thought he was gonna be normal.
What an awful, terrible, horrible thing to say.
I didn't think he was actually gonna try to defend his positions knowing how wrong they were.
Yeah, it's almost as if I'm not a grifter and actually stand by what I believe. Crazy concept, I know. But yeah, this live stream that I'm referring to is also behind a membership pay piggy wall, which should really just explain everything that you need to know. Like, it really should.
Like, real talk.
He claimed, like you saw in the opening of the video, that he was going to end my channel and destroy it. Dude, I'm so fucking scared. I'm shaking in my boots. Well, it's a good thing, though, that I am a merciful queen, because unlike most other queens or kangs out in the world, instead of exiling you to the shadow realms, I'll instead just dismantle everything you said and showcase to the entire world, all of YouTube, how much of a disingenuous worm you are and how you truly are the Mexican Hasan. But yeah, I've been waiting for you to destroy my channel, but I guess you've just been too busy focusing on the Nintendo hate boner bandwagon, double uploading on how the Nintendo Switch 2 is overpriced. Oh my god, bro. Like how many videos do I need to watch of the Nintendo Switch 2 being overpriced? voice. Wow, riveting, soulful content, unlike the soulless crow cat over there, am I right? So yeah, I'll be breaking down everything from the call I had with Fritanga on stream, as with the highlights of his streams. So let's check out the Mexican Hasan, alright? So basically, I joined the call, there was some technical difficulties, and I couldn't hear Fritanga at first. And the first thing he starts questioning me on is my modded gameplay footage of Oblivion, comparing it to the remaster.
Yeah, you flashed it on screen.
Yeah, no,
Forgot.
Yeah, I did forget, but it's just one of those things that kind of like slipped my mind. I know it looks bad, but yeah, it's just one of those things that slipped my mind. Like, it's my mistake. Like,
no,
like I didn't.
Bad. It's really disingenuous and really misleading.
Yeah. I didn't mean to do that, because like obviously I wouldn't have done that.
No,
like,
you definitely meant to do it.
I mean you can say that, but like I obviously didn't. It's my mistake, obviously.
Well, I don't forgive you.
You really gotta love how he's saying that I meant to use the modded Oblivion footage, even though I admitted it was a fuck up on my part, but he can just assume I did shit. But when I quote unquote, you know, assume things that are woke in the remaster, the Mexican Hasan basically goes, but dude, you're just making assumptions, dude. You're like, oh, you know, you're putting fucking words into the developers' mouths and shit. When that's literally what he is doing to me right fucking here.
So you're arriving to your assumption. You're assuming, you're putting words in their mouth. Re-record lines, so like your whole assumption that they removed gender and took it out of the game is not even.
You also really just gotta love how much of a smug piece of shit he is. You'll also notice that throughout the majority of this call, I'm actually calm and collective, while he will continue to raise his voice at me, belittle me, throw insults at me, and attack me with major intellectual dishonesty. But anyways, regarding the modded comparison versus the new game, it's completely fucking stupid. There's no reason at all a 2006 modded game should look better or even close to the brand new Unreal Engine game from the current year 20 years fucking later, because at that point you failed at a remaster, and why the fuck am I even, you know, breaking out my wallet for a $50 shitty remaster that looks worse in nearly every way than the modded gameplay from 2006, which, you know, the mods are free by the way, and the original game is on sale for like $5 or maybe like $10-15 at full price, but we'll get more into that later or in a bit.
Of course the you know, the master swordsman, the master fighter is a black queen.
That's how it was in the original game. Like, I hate to tell you, but that's how it was in the original game. Now we're shitting on her because she's black in 2025 again?
So I can't help that you're stupid and you don't understand intelligent like conversation and intelligent commentary on something and criticism. So sorry that you're stupid.
No, that's not how it was in the original game. Wow, look at that. The original Rohsaan from the original Oblivion, non-modded by the way. She actually doesn't have dreads and looks fairly light-skinned despite being a red guard. As I also mentioned in my previous video, they completely wukandafied all the red guards, making them look, you know, more African, despite the fact that they were never meant to, you know, just be black people or Africans. The red guards actually were able to, you know, have white people hair, such as the original Rohsaan, but nice try at trying to gaslight me and your audience that Rohsaan looked like this in the original game when she clearly and obviously fucking did not. You'll also bring up later how the women aren't wearing male armor and how they didn't remove it, but as we can see right here with Rohsaan, not only has she been, you know, heavily wukandafied, but she's also rocking male armor. Like, look at that shit. In what world is that female armor? Like, you do realize women have breasts, right? And you would need armor that would accommodate for that in their, you know, body shape, as with, you know, actual armor that fits their fucking bodies, which, let's be real, that shit ain't fitting her body, okay?
You know, everything Latina parfait he says is based and correct.
But yeah, they did this to most of the red guards in the game. Look at the Thieves Guild leader, for example, as well in the remake. They wukandafied him and gave him dreads and essentially turned him into Yasuke. Like, literally, look at it. Like, he literally looks like he's from fucking, you know, we was Kang Shadows. But yeah, remember you guys, there's nothing woke about this game according to the enlightened, fence-sitting centrist Mexican Hasan.
Now, you also said the Draugr don't come in female form. Like, there's no female Dremora is what you said, right?
Yeah, there's no female Dremora in Oblivion. which there isn't.
Yeah, but that's there's no female or male because they're genderless.
So basically, this right here is in context to how the remaster added a deluxe edition side quest where you need to pay an extra $10. You need to whip out an extra $10 fucking dollars, okay, for it, and how they added a female Dremora to Oblivion. Because like I've said before, they just couldn't fucking help themselves when there were never female Dremoras in Oblivion. Female Dremoras weren't even a thing till like Elder Scrolls Online, if I remember correctly. Also, pay attention how he calls the Dremora a Draugr, which isn't the same thing as a Dremora.
You also said the Draugr.
Then he says what sounds like Dunmer or Drommer, which
Drummer is what you said, right?
this shouldn't really be too surprising at this point, since he claimed, even in this very live stream, he is a tourist to the Elder Scrolls series.
I would definitely say I'm a tourist to Elder Scrolls. So are you lying to us? You're a tourist. You're pretending like you actually played this game back in the day. Yeah. Well, I am a tourist at Elder Scrolls lore.
And that he's also basically never even played Oblivion back in the day.
All right, let me tell you one thing, a little secret, okay? I didn't beat Oblivion back in the day, okay? I didn't play Oblivion that much back in the day. I actually played Morrowind more than I played Oblivion, and that wasn't that much either. Skyrim is the game I played the most, like everybody else.
Other than a couple times or whatever, and he's literally getting all of his fucking information and, you know, lore details from his chat. Because, you know, like, the chat would never lie or be wrong about anything. You know, just blindly fucking trust everything that they say, because you're a fucking retard and you know literally nothing. Now, me personally, I'm not an expert on Elder Scrolls lore or any lore in general in video games, because I usually don't care about lore that much. You know, I'm not that fucking autistic about shit. But anybody who's played the Elder Scrolls games for more than, you know, 5 minutes knows damn well that Draugr are not Dremora. Draugr are the undead skeleton-like creatures. Dunmer are the dark elves, and Dremora are like the demons of the Elder Scrolls world. Now, yes, there is female Daedra in Oblivion, such as the Flame Atronachs and the Spider Ladies, but those are not Dremoras. Then he tries to act like, oh, but dude, the Dremoras don't have gender, dude.
Okay, but, so, you're saying in your video that there's no females, but what you were supposed to say is that they're genderless. Type 1 and Type 2 is appropriate for this.
So, sorry that you're stupid.
When he knows exactly what I'm talking about and is just being intellectually dishonest here. They take the form of a male body, but we shouldn't expect much from a self-admitted tourist, okay? Let's be honest.
I mean, they're genderless, but they take on like a male presence, or like a male like body, I guess.
They can also take the form of a female.
Yeah, but I don't think that was to like Elder Scrolls Online. Like that wasn't in Oblivion. It wasn't in the original Oblivion. There was no female Dremoras.
There's a Dremora that looks like a female in Oblivion, though.
Yeah, the one that they added.
Well, I think in the original as well.
Well, there's the Daedra, which are like the Spider Ladies, and like the Flame Atronachs, but they're not like the same thing.
Okay, but so you're saying in your video that there's no females, but what you were supposed to say is that they're genderless. Not that there's male or female, because they're genderless.
No, there isn't, unless he's referring to the DLC side quest, then yes. However, that was not in the original release. But again, we shouldn't expect a tourist to know this. What he is most likely referring to, again, is the Flame Atronachs or like the Spider Ladies.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, the point is, they take on a male body, obviously. And the point is, they made one that takes...
Type 1 and Type 2 is appropriate for this.
All right, my bad. They take on a Type 1 body because they switched around body Type 1 and 2 to subvert our expectations. And then, you know, so... In the fucking DLC where you have to pay $10 extra, they added a woke you know, side quest where with a body type 1 Dremora, when there was no body type 1 Dremoras in the original game. That's the whole point. Like, it's not really like anything else.
No, your whole point was that it was a female, but it wasn't.
Yeah, a body type 1, whatever you want to call it, regardless of what you want to call it, it's a female fucking Dremora.
Okay, but you said that they took male and female out of the game. But now you're saying Type 2 is female.
But yeah, this is basically all he does, is be intellectually dishonest, you know, be disingenuous, because he knows exactly what I'm talking about and what I mean. But he's trying to play some word games where, oh no, but dude, you know, you should have said you should have said should have used the body type 1, dude, because they aren't actually, you know, males, or they aren't actually females. They don't take a gender, despite the fact that they take on a male's body. then you really gotta love how this retard says you should call them by their body types then. But remember, he isn't a wokey, and we'll really get into this in a bit on how much of a leftist fence-setter fucking retard he truly is.
Okay, so you said in the beginning of the video that they took male and female assigned roles out of the game.
Yeah,
right?
they did. I mean, they
But
still
you're
call
labeling-
you male and female in the game, though. Like, you
So
know.
what's the fucking problem?
No, it's in the character creator. That's the problem. No, that's the problem. That is the problem.
Male, if they still call you man or woman in the game, and you choose type 1.
Yeah, so why would
the fucking problem?
No, because it's like,
body
what
type.
is the point then? Why would they do it? Like, because why wouldn't they just leave it as it is then? That's the whole point.
So we're only like a minute or two into this call at this point, and he's already starting to fume. He knows exactly what the problem is, and even earlier in the stream, he admits that people don't like this whole body type shit.
If I had it my way, I would have male and female. Why? So that it doesn't upset people. That's why, because things like this upset people. And I understand why, because people don't want to see gender removed. They don't want to see the overarching progressive themes reaching their games.
But of course he has to always argue in bad faith, because as I've been hammering it in this entire time, he is the Mexican Hasan after all.
They did. You're still
No,
referring
they
to
don't.
by
They
your
added the body types for no fucking reason other than to, you know, appease the woke dipshits.
the woke dipshits, yet they still refer to you as male and female.
Because it's
in
the
game.
same. It's the same dialogue. It's the same audio. They didn't re-record the dialogue. It's the same exact audio
Yes,
from
they
the
did.
original.
So right here, he admits to not even knowing that they reused the same audio from the original game.
Audio
Yes,
from
they
the
did.
original.
So he never even played the original game, and he's trying to argue here that I don't know what I'm talking about or that I'm the tourist, when he never played the original game, and he's trying to claim that I'm the liar or tourist and shit. And yes, this is the only reason they add body types to games or any other progressive bullshit to games, to appease woke dipshits like I said, for those virtue signal points. Later on in the call, he's going to say, how do I know it's woke? Do I have the written documentation, dude? Source? Like, dude, do you have the source?
Okay, why did they
You have that
remove?
written?
Why did they remove fees?
How
How
do
much
you
else
know that?
argument
How
is
do
that?
you know?
And yeah, I got it. It's right here. Let's take a look at Virtuos website, which are the people who made the Oblivion remaster.
Driven not just by having their names in the credits, but by the smiles they give to millions of gamers.
It is also about gaming for good, and that our commitment to education, the environment, diversity can inspire a better world for gamers everywhere.
Wow, you hear that, Fritanga? You hear how they are talking about diversity? Wow, dude. Wow, it's almost as if this is the evidence right here that the game is indeed, in fact, woke. It only took but a Google search. Here's your documented evidence from their own mouth talking about diversity. Now, I'm sure you'll spin this as though, oh, but dude, that's not the type of diversity they were talking about. Well, how about we scroll down and look at the games that Virtuos has worked on. Wow, they worked on Horizon Forbidden West. That's a Sony game right there, so I'm sure you'll agree with me on that one, right? That Forbidden West is indeed extremely woke, with Aloy's peach fuzz and her being a lesbian and the sheer amount of diversity in that trash piece of shit game. Oh, look at this, also Call of Duty Vanguard with women on the front lines. The Last of Us Part 2, one of the most woke games to ever release, with trans children, lesbian love, and bigot sandwiches.
What you got there?
Bigot sandwiches.
Again, sure you can agree with me on that one since it's a Sony product, right?
You know, everything Latina Parfait he says is based and correct.
League of Legends, another woke dogshit game. Oh look, also grounded in the Outer Worlds. But I guess those aren't actually woke though, since they are by Microsoft, so scratch off those ones. My bad. Now I'm sure you're gonna say, but dude, look, they actually worked on, Stellar Blade. That means Virtuos isn't woke. Wow, it's almost as if these woke, companies can't, also work on non-woke games. Wow, crazy concept. Okay, and then look at this. So here's your receipts, you disingenuous fucking retard. Try to spin this as a win for yourself. There's more, okay? Let's check out who Microsoft's largest shareholders are, okay? Wow, look at that. Vanguard with the most shares. Then right below them, BlackRock with the second most. Wow, it's almost as if the two largest DI woke piece of shit companies surely wouldn't influence Microsoft and everything under their umbrella, correct? Surely they wouldn't influence Bethesda Bethesda or Virtuos or even id Software. Surely Microsoft isn't woke, nor any of its companies it owns. But yeah, here's your evidence, here's your proof that Oblivion Remaster is actually woke, but we'll get even further into this later on into the video.
No, it was only certain ones. There's only certain new audios. The majority of the dialogue is exactly the same as the original. They only re-recorded certain lines for like certain races that had like that didn't have like many like voice actors. Because most voice actors, there's only like one voice actor for like each race or whatever. Because like, I mean like,
yeah, they recorded new lines.
Yeah, they recorded some new lines, but the vast majority of the lines in the game are still the original lines. It's the same voice actor.
Okay. So you mean to tell me the game is woke, in spite of the fact that you're still referred to as male and female?
Yeah, because they're using the same exact. They didn't re-record the lines. They didn't re-record the lines.
No, I know they didn't re-record the lines. I'm saying they recorded new lines.
Yeah, they recorded like certain new lines. Like there's like some new added dialogue.
I don't know what that has to do with what I'm talking about though, where they kept male and female in there.
So here he knows he's been caught. He knows I'm making him look stupid in front of his 500 or so concurrent viewers. So what he does is he tries to backtrack what he was saying. So he's trying to change it to the, oh, but bro, they recorded new lines, as in new lines with the pre-existing ones, which he didn't know. Then he tries to say it's not woke because they kept the original dialogue lines, again, walking back what he said previously, when they changed gender to body types. And let me just ask you, viewer who are watching this, this is a question that I already know the answer to. Why do you change something in the first place if it wasn't a problem? Again, he brings up previously that people have a problem with this and how that they don't like it, but he's again being intellectually dishonest here just to own me or to destroy me, even if it comes at the cost of being a lying, disgusting, filthy worm.
The point is they added body types just to appease woke people. Like I don't know, like what else? It's not that there's not much else.
I love how he asks, how do you know that? How do you know that the game is woke, dude?
There's not much else.
Like, I don't know, maybe that I have, maybe because I have eyes, little bro.
Real talk.
Not to mention, okay, I just showcased the Virtuos website and their diversity with the games they worked on. In addition, the largest shareholders of Microsoft, which obviously, they wouldn't influence everything that Microsoft does or anything. Surely they wouldn't. So that's how I know, okay? Like, imagine being this disingenuous. Like, imagine seeing body types in a game and being like, oh, no, bro, that isn't woke. Where's the source, dude? Dude, where's the source? Fucking idiot.
Real talk, you're a fucking idiot.
You also really gotta love how these grifting dipshits can't fathom Elden Ring doing any wrong, or From Software doing any wrong, or that their games could have woke elements. Also, the localization teams have been censoring games that came from Japan to the West for years at this point, such as with the Dragon Quest III remake or remaster, where the literal creator and editor of the series came out and said it's America's fault for the censorship, and that they weren't the ones who wanted to add body types to their game, even saying something along the lines of, who's even complaining about that? I wonder if words literally coming out of the Japanese developers' mouths is enough proof and evidence of games, being woke. And I'm sure you can see what I'm going to tie this back into, right?
No.
From Software is another Japanese company. Then on top of this, anybody who is like a weeb and likes anime knows damn well how bad the localization is with censorship, and know that watching it in the original language is always better since it's not going to be censored for the West. But yeah, let's just be a disingenuous snake, because the Mexican Hasan doesn't care about debating people. He only cares about slandering others and trying to paint them in a bad light, even if it comes at the cost of, being a fucking filthy liar.
Everything's Latina parfait. He says is based and correct.
Because that's the only reason. Why else would they fucking do? What do you mean? Why would they do that? That's like, what kind of argument is that?
How do you know? How do you know that's why they did it? Does that mean Elden Ring is woke?
But anyways, what Fritanga loves to do is talk about shit he has no idea about, and try to lie pretending that he does know about the shit that he, has no idea about. And when he gets called out, he'll try and backtrack like he did prior. Basically, he's going to lie later on about how Elden Ring and Dark Souls refer to you by your gender, which they never do. They always refer to you as your title or whatever, like the Tarnished. But this whole argument that body types isn't woke is completely fucking stupid. It's completely brain dead, because everybody knows it's woke. Everybody. Because it's 100% woke, obviously. And like I said in this stream, to erase male and female and to androgynise the two sexes. It's also there to gather up the DI woke virtue signal points by appealing to the non-binary people, or the people who don't associate with sex, because sex is like a social construct, dude. But yeah, yeah, body types are there to appeal to trans people and be inclusive towards them, as with, again, androgenizing male and female, which is what this game does. This game removes gendered stat bonus and female armors, but I'll go in depth into that a little bit later on.
Because they did that in Elden
Yes,
Ring?
yes, just because a game is good. Like people confuse this idea that, oh, just because a game is good, it can't be woke. You know, you brought up fucking Boulder Skate 3 earlier, which you're like, oh, Boulder Skate 3 is significantly more woke, or you said some shit like that. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. But the point is, like, obviously, like, Boulder Skate 3 is woke. Then you're trying to, like, group me into, like, all these fucking anti-woke, dipshit fucking grifters, like, you know, the Endymions. No, I don't associate myself. No, the fuck I don't. I don't associate with those fucking, like, Endymions, Hypnotics, the fucking Dr. Disaster. I don't associate with those dipshits. They're fucking retards. Like, I don't even like them.
And everything I'm saying here is true. I don't associate with these retards, nor do I even like them. These people will equate, you know, player count with whether or not a game is actually woke or not. Wow, it has 200,000 concurrent players on Steam. It must not be a woke game. It must be a good game then, dude. Ignore that there is underage gay butt sex in the game. That's completely fine and not wrong, since there's like 200,000 people playing the game. Also, I just want to tie this back into the projection shit from earlier where Fritanga was trying to allude and basically imply and say that I'm EDP445 because of my thumbnail of my L being, you know, underage and I have like goon in my thumbnail. Because for anybody with that Joe Biden dementia and has forgotten already, Fritanga was shilling hard for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and even was like, gay sex is the last thing on my mind when playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You guys need help or need to come out already. Then he shows or puts pictures of Catherine's breasts as if a MILF who gets blacked by Musa and completely humiliates Henry is now, you know, based. Imagine being so fucking brain dead and such a loser grifter you equate a MILF who already has children cucking Henry as, you know, being based. It's like everything comes back and ties back to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 at some point. Everything. This game was the greatest blessing in disguise since it outed all these retards.
You know, everything Latina Parfait he says is based and correct.
But anyways, you see this though, right? He's projecting his shit onto me while defending the game with literal underage butt buddy scenes. You know, that's completely okay, right? But how dare you have Courtney as your PFP or put Goon in your thumbnail as a joke? Hang him at the cross for this blasphemy. Also, regarding to the Smash JTs, Dr. Disasters, and Hypnotics, they are all grifting shills. They constantly defend any game with high player counts and will hype them up as, you know, game of the year. You guys remember that dog shit game called Split Fiction that came out a few months ago? The game that these shills were, you know, hyping up as game of the year, such as, you know, Hypnotic and Smash JQ. Yeah, that's what these clowns do. They see big player counts on Steam and they grift towards it. Big player count, game is good and not woke. Low player count, game is bad and woke. And look at that. Nobody's talking about Split Fiction anymore. Wow, everybody moved on to Expedition 33. Now Expedition 33 is the greatest game ever made. Now it's game of the year and not Split Fiction. And then we'll move on to whatever the next game is. Doom will be the, you know, game of the year. Then whatever comes out after that, that's going to be the next game of the year. Like, these people are just fucking shills for whatever the new product is.
So no, I don't
so
associate with them.
you only associate with people like Syntheticman, is that it?
I mean, people who, you know, aren't grifters or who are actually genuine.
Motherfucker, you're a grifter.
No, how the fuck am I a grifter? My opinions have not changed.
You're dying on a hill with no reason whatsoever.
No,
You're a fucking idiot.
I know I brought this up last video, right? But it's quite funny how pathetic this motherfucker is. He has a massive hate boner towards Synthetic Man because a few years back, for anybody who has forgotten, during Synthetic Man's Cry of Fear stream, Fritanga wanted to get Synth on his live stream, but the based Synthetic Chud denied him and denied his request. So Fritanga raided his stream and got butthurt, and pretty much ever since then, Synth has been living rent-free in his head. Same with griffingaming, and for pretty much the exact same reasons of, you know, Griffin not wanting to join his live. Now with how he treated me going on to his live, it's pretty evident why both of them denied it and or his request or whatever, and this right here is probably a great reason to just put this channel on the do not recommend list. Not only that, but what's funny about the Griffin gaming stuff is it hammers in the fact that he's a Microsoft fanboy as well, since he used to like Griffin when he was on the side of Xbox and Microsoft, but once he switched over to PlayStation for Final Fantasy Rebirth and Aerith, it completely broke Fritanga's heart. Now even in his streams, he is such a petty bitch that he uses Griffin Gaming's voice as an AI to read donations.
Little mix of
literally tell this fairy to stay clear of synthetic Chad.
Griffin.
That fat fuck belongs to me. Griffin Gaming.
You ain't funny.
Maybe there was a little more to the whole, closeted homosexual comparison with console fanboys that I initially had thought in my previous video. But anyways, he says I'm a grifter and dying on a hill for no reason, despite the fact that I've gave pretty clear reasons so far as to why the Oblivion remaster is indeed, in fact, woke. But obviously, he'll never admit that since he's a Microsoft shill. Like again, this motherfucker was shilling for Starfield, South of Wakanda, Indiana Jones, and nearly every other dogshit Microsoft title that has ever existed. So I'll just speed up the debate a little bit since a lot of this is just the Mexican Hasan going, "Nuh-uh, dude. Stop putting, words in the developers' mouths." So we're going to go to the part where he's talking about Rosie the Riveter.
Things have not changed.
The idea that the game is woke.
It is woke. They literally added a feminist statue to the game, like literally a feminist empowering statue. In what world is that not fucking woke? Like the fucking stereotypical female where she has she's doing she's flexing or whatever. They added one of those statues to the game. They completely changed the statue to
Rosie the Riveter. Rosie the Riveter is not woke. What are you talking about?
The statue.
Who Rosie the Riveter is?
I don't know if the weed has just completely 100% fried his brain yet.
I mean, fuck, dude. I like weed, but I definitely don't talk about weed 24/7 in my videos like I did back in 2023.
CAP.
Okay, dab time! It's dab time! Dab on them haters. Literally, I'm literally gonna dab on the hater. Hold on, let me heat up my dab. All right, time to take the dab. One. Sorry, Latino. 1 second. Someone give me 50. I gotta take a dab. Them's the rules. Sorry, I'm loading my butane in the torch. I'm gonna take another dab in a second. What? Give me another 50. I'll take another dab. All right, time to take the dab. Here we go. I definitely don't talk about weed 24/7.
I can't help that you're stupid.
But he basically reacted to my entire video before this call with me, so he's just playing stupid right here. Well, maybe not playing stupid since he is just stupid, let's be honest. Let's keep it a $1.93. But anyways, he really tries to lie and pretend that Rosie the Riveter isn't woke.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Yes, I know, but it's used for feminist movements, obviously. That's what it's used for.
Feminist movements.
Yes,
so
it literally
the
is.
chick doing the flex statue.
Yes.
Woke?
Yes, that's the whole point they added. They added it for feminist fucking points. Like, I don't know what else to tell you, man.
That's for feminist.
Yes, why did they specifically change the statue then? Why didn't they just reuse the same asset or just remake it from scratch and then use the same pose from the original?
Bring up this comparison because I didn't see it in your video. Or
I literally showed it. It was in my video.
Glimpsed over it, but show me because that to me is not fucking woke.
Like, rewind the video. It's in my video.
I don't know, dude. Great response. Like, I'm telling him that the statue is woke and that she's doing the iconic, feminist pose and explaining how and why it's woke. And he basically just says that I'm wrong. So then I ask him why they added it. And his response is, I don't know.
It's the same asset. Or
like, motherfucker, if you don't know yourself, how are you going to tell me that I'm wrong? But of course the statue in Rosie the Riveter isn't woke, according to the enlightened fence-sitting centrist. But let's do a basic Google search to see if Rosie the Riveter is actually a feminist icon. While Rosie the Riveter wasn't explicitly a feminist in the modern sense, she is widely considered a feminist icon due to her representation of women in the workforce during World War II. Her image became a powerful symbol of female empowerment and a rallying cry for women's right movement in the 1960s and 1970s. Wow, it literally states it's a female empowerment and a rallying cry for, women's rights. Which just means either the Mexican Hasan is just, lying through his disgusting teeth as usual to try and get a one-up by being a disingenuous prick, or he's just that stupid. Either one. It could honestly be, either one, let's be honest. Let's also look at this one right here. Was Rosie the Riveter a feminist? These women sometimes took entirely new jobs replacing the male work who joined the military. She is widely recognized in the "We Can Do It" poster as a symbol of American feminism and women's economic advantage. There's your written evidence for you, buddy old pal. I also love the part again where he says he didn't see it in my video, just lying straight through his teeth.
Bring up this comparison because I didn't see it in your video.
Flashback. Changed one of the statues to be more empowered empowering.
End of flashback.
Which has been a reoccurring theme at this point, yet he tries to project that onto me, that I'm the filthy liar. No, that's you. We also know that the statue is woke because we have eyes, and we can see that the original statue is far more feminine than the one in the remaster. Look at that hourglass shaped body with actual, definition. She has breasts, she has her hair down and is in a dress, and in the remaster she's doing the feminist pose, holding a weapon for that female boss girl energy, dude. Her body is square shaped, the dress is basically gone and non-existent, and her hair is tied up, which is often associated with women empowerment or being a strong, independent woman. Now obviously having a pony or your hair tied up isn't necessarily, feminist or woke, because I'm sure some retards will make that claim or argument, which, that's obviously not what I'm trying to say. That's not what I'm saying. And that, putting up your hair is oftentimes associated with that, or cutting your hair. But yeah, anybody who looks at this and tries to claim otherwise, that the change wasn't for any woke or DI reasons, is lying to themselves.
Real talk.
I literally showed it. It was in my video.
Glimpsed over it, but show me, because that to me is not fucking woke.
Like, rewind the video. It's in my video.
Okay. So it's in the statue, all right? Let's see.
It's somewhere in like the middle, I think.
Okay. Let's see. Fucking this statue, I guess. Whatever. I mean, this is quite the reach. It's like not enough. Like, even if you were right, it's still not fucking.
Okay, why did look at this slimy fat worm? Refuses to bring it back up on the screen since he knows he's in the wrong. If you were trying to debate somebody and they present you with evidence but you refuse to look at it, that's probably not a great look for you, buddy. Then he's like, it's such a stretch, dude, even if you are right.
Statue, I guess. Whatever. I mean, this is quite the reach. Even if you were right, it's still not fucking.
Okay, why did? Yeah, because I'm right. So you're inserting that it's, such a stretch to, like, insert a safety net and discredit what I'm trying to say. Anybody with the IQ above 90 can easily tell exactly what you're trying to do here. And he knows that I'm right, since you can hear the felted laugh right there.
Like, even if you.
Which I'm sure most people have already noticed quite a bit at this point. He'll do this laugh whenever he is felted or doesn't know how to respond to something.
We covered everything.
Again, the felted laugh.
And this basically either gives him time to come up with something, or he's just able to insert this laugh or anything that he doesn't actually know how to respond to. Whoa, buddy, as the casino would say. Whoa, buddy. Like, I felted the Mexican Hasan so fucking hard, he came to my stream afterwards where I reacted to his stream and coped with nearly every comment that he, commented with the laughing, crying emoji. Definitely somebody of sound mind, am I right? And who wasn't felted at all. But remember, you guys, I'm the one who lost the debate. When he came over to my channel with 5k subs, leave me dozens of comments with emojis. Remember, I'm the one too young to have played Oblivion back in the day, but he's the one spamming emojis. Makes sense to me, okay? Makes sense.
That makes sense to me.
They change it then. Why did they change it? Why did they change it?
Okay, so you're asking me why they changed it. Shouldn't you be the one to know why they changed it?
He really isn't capable of any form of cognitive thought. I've already explained and gave you my reasoning. The reason I'm asking you is to see what your response is. It's me asking a question that I already know the answer to, but he doesn't even realize this. He thinks I'm asking this because I don't know, when I do know, and anybody with even the slightest pattern recognition, with the slightest noticing, abilities can come to the same shit that I'm coming to right now.
If you know if it's for
that is the why.
You be able to tell me that?
What do you mean? I already explained why they changed it.
No, motherfucker. Listen, you're the burden of proof is on you. You claim to know that they did that for a woke change.
Yeah, and I showed the picture. I literally showed a picture side by side with a woman flexing.
You're asking me why would they do that?
Yeah, for woke reasons, DI reasons, feminist reasons. That's why. Like, I already explained it probably at least 5 times at this point.
That's why. But how can you prove that?
How can I prove that? I don't know, maybe by using my eyes? Then as he's trying to ask me why they did it, I respond with, I showed the picture. Then he responds with, I know, dude, I know.
Showed the picture. I literally showed a picture side by side with a woman.
Okay, if you know, then that's your answer and a reason right there. Then look at how he is half-assing trying to skim my video for the statue, trying his hardest not to find it because it'd show everyone and his viewers how he is lying through his teeth. Like, all he does is argue in bad faith. He really isn't any different than Vosh, Destiny, or Hasan. Basically, just like those bread tubers, he also has those bread tube origins and roots. Remember everybody, the Mexican Hasan here was a Bernie bro before he hopped ships to become a Trump fanboy, which was only recently from the last election and to, you know, grift off of that. But prior to that, he's always been a leftist, and he uses the exact same tactics these leftists use. He literally is a fucking leftist.
Why did they change it? That's the question. That's the question. Why did they change it? It's like why else would they change it? Why else would they change it?
So you're asking even though you've already arrived at a conclusion?
Yeah, it's called asking a question to one that you already know the answer to. No shit, I've already came to a conclusion.
Yes, I'm asking you specifically, why did they change it then? Like, why did they change it from the original? Because for feminist reasons, obviously.
Then he responds with, I don't know. Again, okay, why the fuck are you arguing with me and telling me that I'm wrong when you don't even know yourself? Like, are you just trying to argue for the sake of arguing? Or is your ego just that large you can't admit to being wrong about literally anything because it'd prove what I'm saying is right? And that, you know, that obviously wouldn't look too good on your part, now would it? But seriously, he has the ego the size of the entire fucking planet Earth. Like, literally the entire galaxy, okay? Even as I showed at the start of the video where he's bragging about how he destroyed Sungrad Studios.
Latina, look at what I did to Sungrad Studios. Do you really want that for yourself?
As if that's some big fucking accomplishment, dude. It's like bragging about beating up the kid who rides the short bus. Yeah, congratulations, buddy. Now maybe try fighting somebody your own size next time. But what's also really funny about this is that I think most people who even know about the Sungrad Studios shit is not because of the Mexican Hasan, but because of harmful opinions. Like, sure, you may have made a video before he did, but the vast majority of people only know of this because of him, let's be honest. There probably are others who are covering it as well, such as Smash JQ, but the point being is the Mexican Hasan has a massive ego, and I think he needs a reality check and be taken down, you know, a few notches, just a little bit. Like, this motherfucker needs to be humbled a little bit. Not even a little bit, okay, but a crazy amount. Let's be honest. Let's keep it a $1.93, okay?
For feminist reasons?
Yes, for woke reasons, yes.
But why is that the conclusion?
Because it's a woke game. It's a woke fucking game.
Why is it woke? How?
And here he just does the circular reasoning bullshit where I give the answer, he says, but how do you know, dude? Then I give another answer, then he responds with, but how is that woke? Then I give another answer, then he circles back to the, but how do you know? He's really trying to die on this hill just to own me or one-up me because, again, he has an ego and refuses to ever be wrong about literally anything.
Because you can see through all the changes that they made, the removal of, you know, female armor, body types, the statue, the removal of gender, or not, or yeah, gender, but the gender stat bonuses, like, you know, how males have like different stats than the females, like all these fucking things add up. And you tell me, oh, the game's not woke because, like, come on, bro, like like, come on.
They let you instead choose your own attributes and stat bonuses, so I don't see how that's woke. That's better than assigning them to genders. That's like more freedom for the player to customize their character, so you don't have to play as a woman to get these bonuses or those. So I don't see how that's a problem. I don't know how that would be woke.
It's woke because everything I've showcased is to erase gender or sex. It's not exactly rocket science to come to this conclusion, dude. They removed gender for body types. They removed female armor so women look the same as men.
They let you instead choose your own attributes and stat bonuses, so I don't see how that's woke. That's better than assigning them to genders.
This is such a stupid argument. More freedom and customizability isn't necessarily a good thing. Look at Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, for example. You're able to have underage butt buddy fun, but does that inherently make the game better? Or how about Baldur's Gate 3? Does having degenerate bear sex also make the game better because it's quote-unquote more freedom that I can be a furry degenerate? I don't think so. But we can take that even a step further. If removing gendered stat bonuses equals more customizability and freedom, then why don't we also just remove character races, since stat bonuses, attributes, and skills are tied into each race, such as Bretons having 50% magicka resistance or Argonians being able to breathe underwater. What if I wanted to play as a Redguard, for example, with the Breton stat bonuses of 50% magicka resistance? Why can't I do that? Why don't you just remove all the races at that point and allow me to pick any stat or skill bonus I want? Because more freedom and customizability in a game isn't always a good thing. This whole, but dude, removing gendered stat bonus is actually good since you get more freedom and shit, dude, but it's actually a good thing. It's such a fucking stupid argument.
Oh, everything Latina Parfait he says is based and correct.
Because it's to androginize fucking females and males. That's the point. It's to androginize both males and females.
Assumption.
No, that's not an assumption. That's literally what is happening. You can see what's happening. No, they remove. Okay, why did they remove? Why
have
did they
that
remove
written?
female armors then? Why did they remove female armors?
Dude, do you have that written? Dude, where's your source? 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 Where's the source, dude? Source? Like, this dumb motherfucker really is trying to say that you need to have written documentation and proof from the developers themselves, claiming that the game is woke, otherwise it isn't woke, or you can't come to that conclusion because you'd be putting fucking words into their mouths.
Okay, why did they remove?
Written?
I guess the Mexican Hasan really can't think for himself and always needs others to do that for him.
Real talk. Why did they remove female armors? I don't know. What do you mean? Because like the females I've seen in the game all have armor that's adjusted to their body. So what do you mean they?
No, I literally showed I showed a video of where they like toned down.
Is it not called female? Like, how is it not female armor?
Because they made it less curvy. They made it less. It's the same exact model pretty much as the males have.
It's the exact same model as the males.
Yeah, pretty much the exact same. It's the same fucking armor. Whereas in the
in the
original, like when a female like equipped the armor, it would adjust more like properly to their body.
How much more?
I showed the video. You can literally look at it. Like I showed the video.
He's doing the same shit he did with the statue where he refuses to actually look at my video as it show how he's lying through his teeth. Then he really has the nerve to say that it didn't look that way. But as we take a look at the armor, we can see how the original, the females have, actual juicy, delicious breasts, and how the armor actually adjusts and shapes to their body, unlike in the remaster where the women get the same armor as the men do, aside from obvious female specific armor or clothing such as dresses, but clothing that's not necessarily armor. He's such a disingenuous prick though that instead of bringing up and looking it up on his stream, he instead supposedly looks at the female armor differences on his phone, which is pretty cool, isn't it? He's telling me that I'm wrong and that he's looking at it on his phone but not on the stream. How do I know that you're looking up anything on your phone to begin with and just lying? Which I highly suspect that he is just lying, because that's all he's done through this debate with me is lie, misrepresent what I say, and slander me. You're bringing shit up on your phone specifically so your audience can see it. Like, it doesn't get any more blatant than that.
Like, bro, I don't know what else to tell you, man. Like,
yeah, you don't, because you don't know. You didn't think this through.
No, it literally, like, they removed it. They fucking removed it. Like, that. There's nothing else to say.
Okay.
He knows exactly what I'm talking about. Boot up the game, start a new game. Wow, look at that. What do you see? Body type. So they did remove it. Then he does the felted laugh.
Okay.
Whoa, buddy. Whoa, buddy. So we kind of just go back and forth and he regurgitates the same shit he's already said about how it isn't woke and that the game didn't remove gender for body types, even though they literally did, as you can see right here. And so we're just going to skip a bit ahead. He then talks about how in Elden Ring, about how they refer to you as your gender, even though they don't, and it just goes to show how he makes shit up and doesn't even know what he's talking about, since in FromSoft games or Elden Ring and Dark Souls, gender is only cosmetic. Like I said earlier, they only ever refer to you as your title, such as, the Tarnished. And he brings up this retarded argument from earlier where, but dude, where and when have you ever heard FromSoft come out and say that they added body types for woke reasons, dude? When plenty of other Japanese devs have came out and talked about how the West censors their products, anime, and games. And just to let everybody know, in case you forgot, FromSoft, I don't know if you guys know this, is a Japanese developer, but I guess I'm just putting words in their mouths, despite the fact that the Japanese devs come out all the time talking about the censorship in the West.
No, they don't have to say it. That's the thing. They don't have to fucking say it.
They don't have to say it, so you can just put words in their mouth?
No, it's not putting. It's reading between the fucking lines. It's reading between the fucking lines, you retard. It's literally reading.
So you're able to read minds
Bro.
now?
You really are stupid, ain't you?
No, reading between the lines, not mine.
Reading between the lines. Okay, so you're arriving to your assumption. You're assuming. You're putting words in their mouth.
Nobody's putting words into their mouth. You can notice the patterns. It's called fucking pattern recognition. You fucking idiot. Like, holy shit, bro. Like, come on, man. Yeah, pattern recognition. It's the thing. I know you probably... Yeah, pattern recognition.
Do you think I haven't heard that already? You think I haven't heard your side already say that before?
Then I bring up how I know since it's pattern recognition, and his rebuttal is that, like, but dude, don't you think I've already heard your side say that before? Like, dude, like, what the fuck is that even supposed to mean? Like, whether or not you've heard this before doesn't disprove the fact or take away from it. I can use the same logic on you. Don't you think I've heard you clowns defend body types before? Wow, you see how easy that is? That's not an argument, buddy. But you also really gotta love how he says your side, quote unquote.
You think I haven't heard your side already say that before?
Which you probably noticed if you're noticing levels are above, you know, novice levels. He's referring to my side, or the chud side, because apparently it's a bad thing to recognize shit. You see that crimer over there? That Enwa over there, you guys? Don't assume he's going to attack you just because they have the highest crime rate, you bigot! How dare you use pattern recognition skills? But I'm sure his people will say, you know, this is racist, despite the fact that numbers aren't racist, nor is noticing the numbers and patterns.
Okay?
This is not pattern recognition.
It literally is.
This is a reach.
That's not a fucking reach.
Then he claims it's a reach to say that's pattern recognition, even though games have been doing this woke bullshit for well over a decade at this point. Like, if you still haven't recognized the patterns yet, then you're probably just a lost cause at this point, let's be honest, okay? It's not like these woke games have been doing this woke body type bullshit for years at this point. But no, calling it woke is a stretch since this is a Microsoft game and you need to shill for your favorite piece of plastic.
Yes, it is.
We get it. You like being a fence sitting fucking retard, but like we get it. We get it. You have to defend the woke dog shit slop. You have to defend it because it's Microsoft. You have to defend it because it's Microsoft. We understand.
This game is multi.
No, your entire channel is literally based off fucking off Microsoft fanboys.
This game is on PlayStation.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter if it's
No.
Okay, let me explain. Let me explain.
The game shilling for Xbox.
Let me explain. Let me fucking explain. Okay. It doesn't matter if it's fucking multiplat because it's still made by Bethesda, which is owned by Microsoft. So regardless of whether it's multiplat or not, it's still a fucking Microsoft property.
Next, he tries to say he's not a fanboy since it's multiplat, which shows how his brain works. He instantly goes to, but dude, it's a multiplat though. How could I be a fanboy if it's a multiplat? It's also on PlayStation, so therefore I'm not a fanboy because it's multiplat. As if the game being multiplat means literally fucking anything, because regardless of whether it's an exclusive or also on another piece of plastic, it's at the end of the day still a Microsoft property, okay? A Microsoft game, okay? Which this right here just showcases his fanboy mentality.
So if I like Death Stranding, that makes me a PlayStation shill? Like, if I like Astrobot, will that make me a PlayStation shill?
No, not necessarily.
If I like Mario, would that make me a Mario shill?
No, it wouldn't necessarily make you a shill.
If I like fucking Half-Life, does that make me a Steam fanboy?
No.
Okay, well, I'm glad you agree on that. What the fuck are you even on about?
He then tries to bring up a bunch of random games from different companies, and if liking these games makes you a fanboy, which it obviously doesn't make you a fanboy for liking a specific game. However, there's a big difference between liking a game or series and shilling for it, or shilling exclusively for one team, studio, or platform, which is exactly what, you know, the Mexican Hasan does. He shills for Xbox and Microsoft, constantly shills for GOI Pass, and how it's a great deal, despite it really not being a good deal at all, even in the fucking slightest. The majority of GOI Pass slop goes on sale for like $5 to $10, if not cheaper than that, and you're spending $15 to $20 a month for games you don't even own, and it'll be cheaper in the long run to just buy the games individually. And not only that, but you'll also lose access to these games and all the progress that you made on them once you've stopped paying the subscription. And it's not even a great deal for new games either, which the whole point of GOI Pass to begin with was to play first party games day one, but you're not even able to do that anymore now since you need to upgrade to the deluxe editions to play these games early, which is something I'm personally getting quite sick of, this early access bullshit, which is not even early access, it's just pay extra money to play the game or wait, which isn't the biggest deal in the world obviously, but it is scummy regardless. So one of the biggest benefits into even, you know, subscribe to GOI Pass is now basically irrelevant. But yeah, keep shilling for Microsoft, the most corrupt dog shit company on planet Earth, the company that destroys literally everything it touches and can't create anything original and only destroy shit other people have created and made. But I'll just show some clips of this cause most of it isn't worth talking about since I just felt him about how he used to be a bread tuber and he tries to downplay it or brush it off.
I guess you could say I was more liberal back then, yeah.
Yeah, and you did vote for Bernie at some point, like in 2016.
No,
right?
I didn't vote.
Or you liked him. Or you liked him.
I liked him, but I didn't vote for Bernie.
Okay, so at one point in time, you were a Bernie, bro.
At one point in time, but like we're talking about like 2016? Not even true either.
Yeah, this 100% is true. Like you're a fucking fence sitter. You're literally a fence sitter grifter. Like
how am I fence sitting?
Because you're fence sitting right now by defending the body type shit. That alone is you fence sitting.
How is that fence sitting? How is that a subject that determines which side you are on?
Because like you obviously aren't going to defend that shit if you're on the right side. I mean, it's really that simple. It's literally that black and white.
You know, I know plenty of right wingers who don't care.
All right, well they're not right wingers and they're probably retards then. It's really that simple.
You're able to decide who's right.
Yeah, I can.
How old are you?
Yeah, because real actual right-wingers or conservatives are really going to be supporting and defending body types, you fucking retard. And can we make this like a meme? The bro, how do you know, bro? How do you know? That seems to be one of his favorite responses. Like there really isn't much else to say here other than to just point and laugh at him. Then I bring up games he shilled for as the closeted Xbox fanboy that he is, and he basically just did the felted laugh.
So you're just assuming.
Okay, well you glazed Indiana Jones, didn't you?
Yeah, that game's great.
Oh, that game's mid as fuck. It's generic as fuck.
That's nice. That's your opinion, and you're entitled to it. But that doesn't mean you're right, and I'm like wrong. Well, any other examples?
Cause he knows, I know, you know, we all know he's felted, and that's why he's so upset and butthurt over my video and needs to cope so hard that he won the debate. This is basically, you know, close to the end. All I need to do is let the clip speak for itself. Lying caught in 4K.
I mean, like really all your argument is, oh, no it's not, bro, no it's not. Like that's really your argument.
No,
that literally is. It literally fucking is.
No, it wasn't. I brought up other things like the fact that they still refer to you as your gender.
Yeah, because it's the original audio, as I said before, which you didn't even realize till like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's so funny. Nice.
Yeah, five minutes ago you didn't even know that they used the same audio. 5 minutes ago you didn't even realize they used the same audio. You thought they re-recorded everything. No, you didn't. You did not know that.
Yeah, I did.
No, you literally didn't.
About how they added on. No, I said they
no. You didn't say how they added on. You said that because I brought up the original audio originally, and how you responded prior to that implied that you didn't know that they reused the same audio. Like I can rewind this shit. Like I can easily rewind the shit.
Flashback.
It's the same audio. They didn't re-record the dialogue. It's the same exact audio from the original.
End of flashback.
And that's about where it ends. Then he just insults me the moment I get off, which is a great way to treat a guest.
Jesus Christ, I thought he was gonna be normal. That was terrible. That was absolutely awful. Yeah, no, I dismantled that guy. That guy was fucking dumb.
And should really encourage more people to come onto your live streams, right? Like, surely this will have a positive effect in the long run, shouldn't it? But yeah, he also says this is like the worst video he's ever seen or whatever, which is quite funny since at the start, he was actually giving my video a good amount of praise and even laughing at it. The game, the remake.
Hey, that's pretty good green screening of me. Oh, shit. He cut me out. Hey, that's pretty good. Bolly! Post that in the Fritanga memes in the Discord.
But once I get to the woke shit, he does a complete 180 because, you know, it offends him since he's a leftist and I'm shitting on an Xbox product. Even several times later, he'll laugh at the jokes in my video or what I'm saying, but will immediately catch himself since he can't admit this is a good video since it'll prove that he's an Xbox shill and paints him in a bad light. But, you know, you did that to yourself, buddy old pal. But yeah, he is going to end my channel. But yeah, is the Mexican Hasan going to end my channel? Probably not. I'm sure everybody everybody within his circle jerk of grifting fence-sitting retards like his boyfriend the Act Man will say that my video is trash, but everybody outside of your circle jerk will be able to see just how much of a disingenuous snake that the Mexican Hasan is, and how he constantly lies, slanders, and insults since he's way too low intelligence, a literal 1 intelligence build to actually say anything insightful or meaningful. Hopefully I don't live rent-free in his head though like Griffin and Syntheticman do, but who knows, I probably will, let's be honest. I also just want to bring up a couple other stream highlights real fast, such as this part right here where he goes on for over 10 fucking minutes on how I didn't properly say the word create or depth correctly. My bad. He really, and I'm not even joking or exaggerating, was so desperate at trying to get a gotcha moment, so desperate to grab any straws he could. He went on about this for well over 10 minutes. It's almost as if people have different dialects and different ways of speaking around the world. Crazy concept, I know. To them, like giving bricks more crap.
Giving it more depth? Did he really say giving it more depth? Right, they did.
They didn't create this architecture, okay? They didn't create these buildings.
They didn't crate. They didn't crate.
In them. Also, lastly, he got really offended over the Latina Kingdom bit, which I can't really tell if he's mad at it or getting a bulge in his pants over it, since he replays it twice and even moans while it's playing. Join the Latina Kingdom, where I, your Latina queen, will never let you down. Ever.
Never do that again. I ought to slap the shit. Don't ever do that again.
Kingdom, where I, your Latina queen.
Never ever do this again. Do you want to be bullied? Don't do this.
Will never let you down. Ever. But yeah.
Oh. Ugh. Oh boy.
I'm obviously.
Oh. Oh boy.
But yeah, make sure to join the Latina Kingdom because I, your Latina queen, will never let you down. Ever. There you go, Mexican Hasan. One last time, just for you. Enjoy it.